Hi everybody, we're here in El Dorado Park and today we're going to show you how to set up a tent. Now the first thing that you want to do for setting up a tent is you want to find a nice flat area that doesn't have a lot of rocks or anything that's gross or you might have trouble sleeping on. So you want to find an area that's clear of it. If there's just a couple of sticks, you move it out of the way. Once that's done, we can get started with actually unpacking our tent. So our first step is to just get things laid out. And while we're doing that, things to note, you don't want to put your tent in a low area, so say like a riverbed, because you don't know if you're going to get very unlucky and have a flood come through, and next thing you know, in the middle of the night, you're swimming in your tent. So you don't want to do that. So make sure that your area is safe and will continue to be safe while you're there. Our first step is going to be laying out our ground tarp. And that's mainly just a little sheet that you throw out, and what it does is it helps you with not having moisture build up on the bottom of your tent so that it doesn't get wet in the middle of the night or in the early morning when the dew starts to set. And then you put your tent over that. Once it's laid out, just open it up. And you're good to go for the first step. Next step is going to be getting our tent stakes out. It's usually in like a little separate bag that comes in the larger bag. I have mine separated because when I go backpacking I need to shift the weight in the bag. But basically just pull it out. Always make sure you weigh them down. In windier situations you don't want your bags to like fly away. So you get your tent poles out, you separate them. Now, most standard designs of tents only use like 2, and there's plenty of tents out there that use more complex, over-the-top tent stakes and tent poles and all this extra stuff. And it's a little wild, but put one side through the hole, through this, and then into the grommet at the bottom of your ground cover. And then you come over to the opposite side and you do the same thing. And you're going to put tension into the pole and bend it back. Put it through everything and make sure that it's all good. Bring them both to cross in the middle, and there should be a couple of large hooks in the middle of your tent. Pull it up and hook onto each one. I like to cross it so that they're both in the center, and then all you got to do is start pulling your little side hooks out. Once that's done, your tent's pretty much together. And you just want to check to make sure that your ground cover is connected on all 4 corners. Last thing that you're going to put on is your rain fly. Keeps the rain out, keeps the warmth in, And if you do it right, it'll also make it so that you don't have a bunch of condensation from your breath overnight. So just get it out. Now on my tent, there's only one door. You know it's on this side right here. So you always make sure that your rain fly zipper. And one thing that you can notice, the straps, they're color coded with this here, with the part of the tent. And that tells you that you're not putting it on backwards. Last thing that your tent needs is the tent stakes. In softer ground, what you can do is you can just put it through those loops. And this mainly just helps with making sure that your stuff doesn't fly off in the wind. You can use your foot. Don't bang on these too hard. Most of the time they're aluminum. And you don't want to bend them. But if you don't have a hammer on hand and it's a little bit tougher and you can't use your hands, you can use a rock or something and just make sure you hit it straight on. The last bit you want to make sure is you get this one here, because that will extend your door out and give you a little more space when you're trying to crawl out of your tent. Ground's a little bit harder here, so just carefully make sure that it sinks in. What you can do in other situations is if you have some cordage, you tie it around here and put it out like that. You can also do it on the back and on the other side. And what that does is it pulls the whole rainfly apart and gives it so that you have better ventilation. And that's it. That's all, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys are staying safe out there.